How short was he back in the day?
To answer your question, too small to snap at the sophomore level. How's that?
Welcome back
To another ROWVA Automotive podcast.
Just swooped in and stole it right out from under me.
I did.
So great.
The inside scoop of ice cream. No.
No.
The inside scoop of the ROWVA Automotive class.
Inside scoop. Today's different. So first off, no Casey's Pizza.
No Casey's Pizza.
What happened?
There's a lot down.
There's a lot. It's a lot going on.
Well,
a lot of moving parts that happen to happen.
Our scheduling. So we have a little issue in our scheduling because there's a person not here that usually gets pizza for us. Trevor Bird, thank you, but you're not here, so
Yeah, why?
we can't get
to-
pizza if I'm in another class
To
and
school
she's in
lunch.
another
doesn't
class,
work. And Casey's
we
won't
can't
deliver it.
leave. And Casey's won't deliver it.
Again,
So
we got to get Casey's involved in not only sponsoring the show, but personally hand delivering those pizzas to us. So it's a little different today. West is all out of sorts. How's the pizza today?
Nasty.
No, it's just decent, just not.
No.
you didn't eat it.
Dang right I didn't.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I'm starving because I didn't bring a lunch because I was depending on Casey's
Don't
Pizza.
you look at me. Don't. You're glaring. I can feel your glare. It's not my fault. Okay, it's a little bit my fault.
Yeah, so now
Why?
I'm just
Why is it
stuck
a little
with this
bit?
I don't
nasty
know. I don't know.
pizza.
I'm just taking. I got broad shoulders. I'll
I
take
could
it.
have went and got it, but
I have to
No.
drench it in
Yeah.
ranch. You see that?
Ugh. All right, so it's going to be a strange show today.
It's
We're
just
all
a
going to be a
ranch
little bit
pizza.
hangry, right? We're all going to be a little bit grumpy, but we got something that
Yeah.
hopefully can turn the corner on that. We're going to spend the entire show today on the Ranchero.
The Ranchero.
Whatever you call it, the Ranchero. So we're going to talk about how we happen to get the Ranchero and what we're doing with the Ranchero and why we think it's a good
and who we got
project.
it from?
Yeah, and who we got it from and why we think it's a good project for the school. So a little bit of background on why we decided to pick up the Ranchero. We've wanted to kind of expand what we've done. So last year you guys got to build the kit car, right?
Yeah.
So you got to play a part in kind of a new vehicle build that was very, very smooth. The way you just moved that. Just like that. It's not like I can't hear it at all. I can't hear it at all. Like if I put my pop down.
Okay, we're gonna move it while we're talking about
Yep.
it.
Anyway, we did the kit car last year, and you guys got a little bit of an opportunity there. I've wanted to get a little more manufacturing, I guess a little more fabrication involved. So when you guys go out and you start working on cars on your own, it's not something you're probably going to build brand new cars. You guys are probably going to be restoring, like we talked about last week, your F100 or your Nova. Silver,
Sorry.
green, black Nova.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the board over there.
It looks wonderful. So we brought the Ranchero in because it was an opportunity for us to take part in a project that would allow for a lot more fabrication and kind of start to finish of an actual restoration project that hopefully, if it goes well and we can get it done in time, we can move on and start making that kind of a concurrent project with the kit car. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's kind of the reason behind the
You got ranch on the
Ranchero.
table.
It's going so smoothly.
I can't do this. I'm sorry.
Can you eat the pizza while we talk?
I'm trying. It's not working.
Got lots of audio issues. This is just turning perfect. You know, I
Yeah.
talked to Ashlyn Murdoch this week.
Oh, yeah?
Ashlyn Murdoch was first-time listener this week.
Ashlyn, you're letting me down. I thought you listened a long time ago.
That's what I thought too. She came popping into class just so happy. Hey, listen to your podcast. I'm like, all right, give me some. I need this qualified person. She's got decent taste and stuff and music and whatnot. I said, well, what do you think? What can we do differently? How can we improve? You know what she said? I can hear West eating in the microphone.
Did she listen to the first one or the
I didn't
latest
ask.
one?
I assume she sat down and listened to all 6 of them or all 7. How many do we have out? What number is this?
This is number 8.
Good Lord.
Most of the time I can hear you and I can't hear myself because I
know, last time you were
Hate it.
breathing into it and I was like, no, that ain't gonna do.
I hate
that ain't gonna do.
Our microphones are so I'm honestly at my wit's end with them.
Hey, you know what? Next time I'm gonna bring my own microphone.
I know. Well, I think we're gonna get some new microphones. So outside of that, so we're gonna get back to the Ranchero in just a minute. We're gonna have a special guest, hopefully, if everything works out well. But just to cap this off, news outside of that. What happened to our van?
Hey, we got it sold.
It's down the road, right? We put it on Facebook. We didn't even get a chance to finish our fantastic little video,
I know.
which really made Wes sad. Look at the sad face that she's
Yeah,
got.
I'm really sad about that.
This is the sad face that she
Look at
has.
her. Yeah, so sad.
So no more van. The van has gone to a good home. A family who just had their 4th child picked up the van. They needed a little more room, so they were able to pick that up. So hopefully it's going to live a long life with them and do them great service.
You think they listen to the podcast?
I doubt it. I don't think so.
Oh.
I don't think so, unless they're from Hesse, Germany, which we still haven't heard anything from.
No.
So we'll have to
can
see.
do?
We'll have to see what happens there. But
I bet it's just the people that have to review. So it's not an
They
actual
just download
listener.
it to review it.
so you're thinking that it's just the quality control from Buzzsprout
Yeah.
that and we're given. Well, here's how I view that. This is kind of a glass half full, half empty moment. I look at it as, even if that's the case, that guy or gal is still a listener.
But I bet it's a robot.
No.
Yeah, they just
No.
make sure you don't do something
YouTube
inappropriate
does
and
that.
ban it.
YouTube does that. YouTube will know.
Well,
If I put a video on YouTube, it will tell me
isn't
within
that
30 seconds what music I've got on there and whether or not it's a copyright violation. It's pretty cool. And it says this video is not eligible for funding because you've got a copyright violation.
Well, we don't fund our videos.
Not yet. It's coming. One way or another, we're getting these pizzas taken care of.
Yeah, because I'm really hungry. That was
That was
half-size
nothing.
Pizza.
That was horrible.
We need to make sure that this day, right now, what is today's date? The 25th of February?
Yeah.
25th of February, right now, we make a pact. This never happens
Yeah.
again.
Please, because
Never happens
Emily
again.
West cannot go starving.
I cannot do a Fiesta Friday without a Fiesta.
There's no Fiesta because there's no Casey's Pizza.
It's not going to be good. This is how
Not
much we
right.
need Casey's Pizza. I think we're in a situation where we need Casey's Pizza more than they need our podcast.
Yes.
It's true.
It becomes down to a life or death situation.
You know, a couple weeks ago I thought, man, I'm kind of tired of Casey's Pizza, but then you get to the point where you have the podcast and no Casey's Pizza and you're like, I really miss it.
It's part of it. So this is kind of like a grand experiment.
Yeah.
Does this work without Casey's Pizza?
No.
No.
No, it does not. So we'll see. We're going to go to break here. We'll see if we even come back.
Yeah.
See if see if these frowns turn upside down. I'm not positive it will. All right, we're back.
We're back.
We're trying to figure out technical stuff. We're not technical. This is not good.
No, we work on cars. That's about it.
We do. So one of the cars we work on, the mighty Ranchero, owned by Jason Bodensteiner. And Bones, we think we got you on the phone. Are you still there?
Yes.
Oh man.
Oh, thank gosh.
We about lost him.
So terrible. We about lost Casey's Pizza and Bodensteiner in the same day.
It would have just been horrible.
Downhill in the
So,
dumpster.
well, Jay, thanks for taking some time. We know you're a busy guy. We'll try to keep this short, but we wanted to kind of share your story with the Ranchero on how it got into our hands and kind of your story behind it. So, what brought you to purchasing a Ranchero?
Well, I'd always used my mom's 1999 Ford F-150, I believe. Anytime you needed to haul anything, take stuff to the transfer station, move brush, whatever. And so my wife was on me saying, well, that's probably got to be annoying to your mom, but you need to get a truck or something. And so I was never serious about that. She drives a pretty big SUV, and I don't think our garage would probably fit them both. And so I was like, well, everybody I know has a white F-150 or Ram or whatever, and those
Sure.
are like 60, 80 grand, and I maybe not. Maybe that's not the MSRP. I don't know, but they're too expensive to dump into something that I really don't. I'm not really a car guy, so I said, you know what I should do? And partly I did this to annoy her because I know she doesn't like these sorts of vehicles. I go, I need to get an El Camino or a Ford Ranchero, and then everybody wins. You got a smaller vehicle, you got the bed, you can haul whatever you want, and she just shakes her head in disgust because she just thinks they're hideous. And so then I approached you about a year or two ago and said, well, what do you think? Do you think this was probably 2 years ago? We started discussing the feasibility of it. And then like a year ago, we get serious about it. We start kind of looking. And as you said, you could have done an El Camino, but you wouldn't have really had any interest in it. And like luck turns out that looking on Facebook Marketplace in June of 21, so about 9 months ago now, and that 69 pops up, and like, that's pretty cool. Probably one of my favorite movies I've seen in recent memory was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Quentin Tarantino. And as my brother said, and we were chatting about it, and our good friend Nick Mullen loves this as well. We all pretty much agree that...
Absolutely.
So but one of the great parts about that movie is just watching Brad Pitt just cruise around in his vehicle and see like what stuff was back, like back in the day. And
Yeah,
how
absolutely.
they did such a good job of preserving the history in that film. And so to think of like that you'd actually have a chance to own something like that. And I know that I said, well, Mike, what do you think about this one? It's a little bit more than wanted to spend on it, but you were like, this is going to be the coolest project ever. Like if it was my money, this is absolutely what I'd spend. So we shelved the idea of the 77 El Camino or whatever it was. We went with the 69 Ford Ranchero. So very fortunate to obviously play a part in this, allowing you guys to wrench on the vehicle and whatnot. And very excited to see what the end result looks like.
Yeah, I know when you first started talking about an El Camino, and it was kind of tongue-in-cheek, just to say, well, I got to buy a truck, but it's going to be the most car-like truck we can find. And, when you came across this, you and I both have a history with Rancheros with our fathers. Your dad had one, a 69, same year, which we're kind of turning this into a tribute. And then my dad had a couple of them in the 70s. And, I was telling West and Shepard here last week about my trips to Orchard Hill Elementary, bouncing around in the front seats with it.
Little Mike with the big backpack, you know.
Little Mike bouncing around. And so it's cool that we get to kind of pay homage to your father and kind of a tip of the hat to my dad, in doing that. And at the same time, the kids get to play a part in restoring a vehicle that hopefully teaches them something about doing something like that for themselves down the road.
For sure, and it's an interesting thing that you say that because as you said, I just needed something for to move stuff, and it just turns out that my dad did have one as a kid, but it turns out that it was after we'd gotten it or when we were agreeing with the seller on the purchase.
Yeah.
You're like, holy smokes, I think your dad's is the exact same. So it's just I'm not a car guru like you or probably a lot of your students, but yeah, like what are the chances type of deal that we acquire one that same type of model that I was driving up to Fredericksburg, Iowa, 4 people stuffed into a front seat to get firewood back in the early 1980s.
Absolutely, yeah. I remember sitting by my pool when you sent me that text after we got the car back, and you said, "Hey, I think this is my dad's, and this is and so he's like, is that the same year?" And I'm looking at him like, "Bone, that's the same. It's the same car."
Yeah, crazy.
And that's when,
Crazy.
I
Yeah.
even told my wife, I'm like, I got goosebumps. And that's when I text you back and I said, well, I guess I know what color we're painting it because
Yeah.
we're going to make this
Gotta be white now.
a tribute to Jim. So
Yeah.
very, very cool, man. Well, we appreciate it. Bone, can you hang on with us for one more segment? We got an important question. And,
sure.
and for anybody else, I know that I probably wouldn't keep him on here, but this question I think you're going to like. So,
right.
so
All right.
we'll go to break here. And again, Jason, we appreciate you letting us play with your car a little bit, and hopefully we'll make you proud. And we've made you proud with the pictures that we got. We got a new floor going in it, so
No, it's exciting.
it's
Those,
getting there.
Kids you got seem pretty skilled. I've done a little bit of welding in the past, and my welds look nothing like that. So
They are better welders than me.
You got
I tell them
talented
that.
kids. You got talented kids, that's for sure. It's
I-
in good hands. I know that.
I always tell them that they're way better welders than me. So I usually, between Gavin Gerard and Trevor Bird and Dilbeck and Steck, I leave that to them. So, all right, buddy. Well, we appreciate the phone call, and like I said, we'll hang on here for just a minute. We're gonna go to question of the week, and we'll blow you away with this one.
All right.
We're back. We still got Jason on the line, and I kept Jason on the line just because
We have an
it's-
important question for
It's
him.
so great, question-wise. This works out perfectly because the question of the week, which we've changed this from Ask ROWVA Auto because it didn't really work, and we were always saying question of the week instead of Ask ROWVA Auto, so it's just easier to change it. So Ask ROWVA Auto has now question of the week. Great question this week. I'm very excited about it. Last night I sat there and thought about it. The question of the week is, what is your favorite 80s song? And this is something that anybody who's taken any of my classes knows. Music plays a very big part in our classes.
It sure does. If you don't have music going, just nothing can happen.
We got to have music playing.
like
We got to
Casey's
have it
Pizza.
at an appropriate. Yeah, I know, right? No Casey's Pizza today. Good Lord.
Good Lord,
So-
James. Every time.
Every time. All right, so we got to have music playing. It's got to be at the appropriate volume, and it's got to be the appropriate type. And that's one thing our friend who's now at the University of Illinois, Nathan Welch, was the music man of music men.
Oh, yeah.
Right? He would always play the right song for the right
There-
mood to get us going.
There was many days we'd have arguments of who's the best, and Hagen would always
Yeah.
say, it's Nathan.
Yeah, hands down.
Well,
So yesterday we kind of had an 80s day, Bone. I started playing some Madonna, some Cyndi
jam.
Lauper, and they just looked at me strange, like they're looking at me now.
Of course.
So I will put that question out to you guys. So West, we're going to start with you. Favorite 80s song?
All right, well, there's a lot because I feel like the 80s is like a perfect time period. Like
There's a lot
all
of
the songs are just so good. Like
Yeah,
in
you really
all
can't go wrong.
genres.
You can't go wrong.
Yeah, so like classic rock and roll. Like love all of the songs. I don't know. Like there's a lot of like country songs like George Strait.
Okay.
I can't pick because they're all good.
Okay,
Oh,
let's
I
go
got one.
artists then. Give me an artist from the 80s that you love.
Again, like they're all good, but like
Oh,
probably
good.
George Strait. stand
Okay,
out there.
I'll take that.
I just love George
I'll take it.
Strait.
Now
You
you're
stole
mad because
mine.
Shepard?
She stole mine.
What?
I love George Strait. Like I could
listened
die
to
over
him
him.
4 hours straight the other night.
Yeah.
Get it? 4 hours straight.
Is
That's
this
a
where we're
good
supposed to
one.
laugh?
It
That's a
wasn't
good one.
funny, but
All
I
right.
will laugh.
I know my favorite song from
All
him.
right, shoot.
You Look So Good in Love.
Oh,
I love
God.
that
It's
song too.
so good.
Such a good song.
So good.
Such a
Yeah.
good song. A song of remorse, right?
Yeah.
The guy's sad. He's saying, man, I had this girl. She's not with me anymore, but God, look at her.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
There's so many good songs.
It's an important
by him.
thing to treat the people that you're with, treat them correctly,
He
right?
never wrote a bad song.
He never wrote a bad song. They're so good.
All right. Bone, it's up to you. I know this has got to be just a heart-wrenching question for you because there's so many. I'm going to give you can name a couple of them.
No, it's fine. From an artist standpoint, it's got to be Guns N' Roses. I know that's one that you and I would both probably put at least in our top fives. But
Yes.
to me, it's number one. And to me, the Appetite for Destruction album is the greatest debut album of all time.
Hands down.
And my favorite song off that album is probably Rocket Queen. So by default, I'd probably say that's one of my favorite songs. It's not my favorite song of the 1980s, but it's funny when you guys talk about Madonna, like Borderline and Papa Don't
Yes,
Preach. I mean, they're all just fantastic. I heard Everybody Wants to Rule the World, which might be an apropos song for
Yes.
this day and age. But
Absolutely.
the Tears for Fears, that's just fantastic. So I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can go with that. But to me, like Guns N' Roses will always be number one. Although, Mike, you tell your students that the number one song of the 1980s that I like to perform with you is a tie between "I Remember You" by Skid Row and
Yes,
Poncho and Lefty with Merle Haggard.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No,
Fantastic.
some of my
It's a good
students know I do dabble in guitar and did
yeah.
play a little bit.
Well, you brought a guitar last
we
year
did.
and started
Yeah.
playing music with
Yeah.
Nathan.
So one of the things that we'd always do, because Jason and I, back in the day, actually lived in the same house together. He was my roommate, and so we would play Poncho and Lefty, and he would sing, one part, and obviously it's Willie Nelson, Merle Haggard. We would play one part, and he would sing the other. So that's a great one as well. So, so I'm thinking about this, and obviously GNR comes. That's right there, because Appetite for Destruction. That's like the album, best cover-to-cover album for me still to this day is Appetite for Destruction. So for me on that one is Night
Even
Train.
their worst songs
Yes.
don't track through it well. I don't think anybody tracks
Yeah.
anymore this year. But
Yeah.
I think, like Anything Goes is like very
Yes.
probably
Yeah.
like a 6.5 out of 10. But you still just listen to it because it's great. you
Yeah,
know?
but for me, Night Train. Now, I also thought about one of like the best intros to a song, and there's really two of them there. One of them is Cinderella, Bad Seamstress Blues, Falling Apart at the Seams. That song, and then
Yeah.
there's Mark Knopfler and Dire Straits singing Money for Nothing.
That's really good.
Yeah, like just songs like
Yeah, no,
that.
they're-
But again, there's
Yeah,
not a
no,
wrong
I-
answer. Not a wrong answer. That's just a great decade for music in general.
Well, the answer is really probably about a 3-volume set. I mean,
Yes.
like you could just keep writing and writing and writing and writing and
Yeah.
writing, and you wouldn't be wrong.
Yeah.
No,
So-
there's a lot of good music from that era.
We appreciate you taking the time. Now, I think you guys had another question for Jason.
We do.
Yeah. So, considering how short Mr.
Still is
Hagedorn
short, yeah.
is right now, how short was he back in the day?
They're saying that I'm extremely short. I'm vertically challenged. So they want to
Yeah.
know.
I'll say this. I met Michael in 7th grade math class. Ricky Bauman. He's
Mr.
probably
Bauman.
About 4'5". He's probably about 5'4", 85, 90 pounds. And then his dad actually made him. He had this really good trait where he's a good long snapper. And but his dad, I think, unfortunately, made him quit sophomore football because he was so afraid because he was so small that he might get hurt. So they had to find somebody else to snap on the punt team. the
Yeah.
field goal team.
Josh Wessels took over.
To answer your question, too small to snap at the sophomore level. How's that?
I was a child among men out there in the field. That's for sure, right?
Oh, man.
I've still got home video of us even in 7th grade football where they call the punt team and little Mike runs out there and I'm just looking skyward at you and Aaron Bush and Justin Michael and
Like Nate and Aaron.
Yes,
and
all
Michael,
these-
yes,
all-
they were grown. They were grown men as 13-year-olds.
and for some reason all of the friends I hung out with were a foot taller than me. And I just thought I had really tall friends. Turns out I was just really short.
Every time you say
So.
Little Mike, I just think about like on Monsters Inc.
Yep.
Like little tiny
Little
child
Mike
Mike Wazowski just getting off the bus.
That was
having
me.
a hop. Yep,
The
that's
backpack's
me.
bigger than him?
That was me.
Yep.
Oh, man.
The hat going over your eyes.
That was me. Little guy. But that's why I learned to play guitar, because the guitar was bigger than me. And,
Yeah.
gave me some shelter. Huh?
Because Dave Grohl said we learned how to, I think it was Dave Grohl said, we all learn how to play musicians after we realize we're not good enough to play sports anymore.
That-
So
Can't play football, so play music.
an alternate way to try to get females, I guess, is his explanation.
That's it. Well, Bone, man, we appreciate you taking time out of your day. We know you're busy, man, and we're trying to do you proud on the Ranchero. We'll continue to keep
I
you
look forward to seeing
updated.
look, I love the updates, and I look forward to seeing the end product. So,
All right, man. Well, tell
Good
Marion,
talking to you guys.
tell Marion the kids hi. We appreciate your time today.
Yes, thank
Thank
you.
you.
yep. All right. Thanks.
All right, see you,
Y'all
Bone.
have a good weekend.
All right, bye.
Yep.
Jason Bodensteiner. So Jay was
What a guy.
Jay's a good
guy.
buddy of mine.
You
One
know,
of my best
as
friends.
more and more we talk to him, the more and more I know and know why you guys are best friends. You guys are the same person.
Very, very similar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very similar with it.
Good
so.
old boys.
Yeah. Just
So, all right. Well, that's a little bit about our Ranchero. So next week, hopefully we get our pizza back.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, and we can. I'd like to do one of these with the kit car too, to kind of explain what the kit car is. We talked to the class today about next year's kit car,
Yes.
and so we're kind of wrapping one up and starting another one all in the same semester. So hopefully that works.
Going out.
They've been flashing
I know.
all week.
And every time it flashes, it messes with the headphones.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
static, or what do you call it? Like,
like-
electromagnetic stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's out of my
It's
wheelhouse.
electromagnetic stuff.
So, all right. Well, that about does it for this week. The Ranchero. Hopefully, we got lots of good pictures in there. We had some good
Yes.
times. Made
I
fun of Mr. Hagedorn.
Hopefully we
which-
see a little
I don't-
baby
I
Mike Wazowski.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll try to find
some.
some. I'll try to find some football pictures that any pictures that put me in a compromising position of being like really short and really small
Yes.
compared to my
Yeah.
friends.
Yes.
So we'll do that.
How
Do you have? What about that prom picture that you got? Is that a good one to show? I think that's a good one to show.
Yeah, but we
Have
may.
you not
yeah.
seen it?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, they all have cowboy hats on.
Yep.
It's so great. It's so great.
Yeah.
I
I
just
always
wanna
try to
ask-
tell you guys to make good life choices. That was not a good life choice.
I think it looks
ask.
amazing.
How were the football shoulder pads
Huge.
and whatnot? That
Huge.
was hilarious. I need
Yeah.
to see that.
I've got a picture at home of junior high. My daughter actually, she cherishes that picture of me. I think it's in 8th or 9th grade.
Oh man.
She cherishes that of me playing football. So
We don't have an argument of the week.
we don't.
We haven't argued much. Well,
No, it's been pretty
pretty
amicable.
good. Pretty good.
Yeah, it's just a weird week.
Yeah, this is a weird
This
week.
is
This is
odd
kind of a
week.
weird thing. We need to get past this and get Casey's back on board.
Yes.
Start arguing.
We need to go
some
crawling
more.
back to him and say we don't care if we're paying for it. We need to get it. So,
We're addicted.
all right. Well, till next week. Anything else we need to say before we roll out of here?
Beep beep. Let's roll.
Perfect. Hopefully that records.